For the last question, the 15 marker, it says a one-dimensional 1D array teams contains the names of 10 football teams in a local league. A two-dimensional 2D array results stores for each team. Right, the number of games won, drawn, lost, and also the number of points. The position of any team's data is the same in both arrays. For example, the data in index 3 of results belongs to the team in index 3 of teams. Right, the array data will be used to find the current leader of the league. Right, the variable played stores the number of games played by each team. Each team plays the same number of games, and our program should allow the user, allow the number of games played to be input and stored with a maximum of 18 games. Right, also allow the names of the teams to be input and stored. Right, allow the names of games won, drawn, and lost to be input and stored. Right, validate the number of games played, won, drawn, lost against the number of games played. And similar to the cricket example, if you looked at paper 21, like what this is saying is if we say, well, I don't know, maybe there's 14 games in the league, but let's say they say that a team won 10 games, they drew 2, and they lost 3. Well, of course, that's going to be invalid because you're saying that a team has played 15 games, but we've said that actually there's only 14 games. Right, then we want to calculate and store the number of points for each team. 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, no points for a loss. Right, sort the array results into descending order of number of points, ensuring the corresponding parallel array teams is kept in the same order. Right, and determine how many teams have the highest number of points and output the names of the winning teams, right, along with the number of points achieved. And you must use pseudocode or program code and add comments to explain how your code works. Right, you do not need to declare any arrays, variables, or constants. You may assume that this has already been done. And all inputs and outputs must contain suitable messages. Right, so yeah, let's just go ahead and jump in and try and do this. Again, of course, like by the time this video is uploaded, this starter code should be available right under the exam questions. Right, so first then, I think we just want to do this, allow the number of games played to be input and stored, right, with a maximum of 18. So because we're doing some validation, let's have that in a repeat until loop. Of course, you could also use a while loop. Right, but let's go repeat until. And what we want to do, we just want to go output and let's say maybe enter number of games to play. Or maybe number of games played. Right, then we're just going to input that into played. Okay, played. And then let me just update this. Right, and we want to say what until played. I don't know, like maybe we need to go greater than or equal to 1. But I think as long as we just go less than or equal to 18. Maximum of 18, right? So less than or equal to 18, right? That should be fine. Right, then what we want to do, we want to allow the names of the teams to be input and stored, and of course, the games won, drawn, and lost. So I think like all of this we can do in one loop. Calculate and store the number of points. Yeah, of course we can do that in the same loop as well, right, where they're inputting the games won, drawn, and lost. And then I guess while sorting, that's going to require another loop. That's going to require bubble sort. Okay, alright, so let's just get all the input data first. So what we want to do, let's go maybe team num. So this is like the current team, and well, this will start at 1. And now, of course, in the exam, of course, we can just go 10. However, while I'm testing it, I don't want to be testing for 10 teams, like typing in 10 names, 10 wins, losses, draws, right? So it's going to be too long. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use this constant which I've created, and let's just say 3 teams. Right, so first then we just want to ask them to input the name. So let's say, right, enter name, because we want text like enter name for team 1. So let's go, team num, and then we'll just go input, and what is it called? I think it's called teams. Okay. Right, so we're going to input teams, and this will be row or index team num. Right, then, okay, so then because we want to validate the number of games played, this we also need in a loop. And we'll want to calculate, how many games they won, won, drawn, and lost. So let's make another loop. And let's also create some variables where let's just go declare, right? This will be wins, this will be draws, and this will be losses. And yeah, you know, we can also create a points variable, although I think we won't really need that. And to be honest, you know, we don't also need these really. We could do it just directly. But yeah, maybe let's just create these variables, because I think Cambridge do like us to actually create variables for everything, like rather than just kind of assigning to the array directly. Right, so what we want to do then, we just want to ask them, how many wins did this team have? So let's say, I know, enter a number of wins, and let's say 4, and I mean now we've got the team name, so now of course we can just go teams, and this will be the team num. So this will just say, enter number of wins for, you know, Man United. Right, then we just want to go input that into wins. And I guess what we want to do, we want to input that here into this results, because this is the results array. So right, let's go results, and the row is going to be not club name, right? So, team num, and well here that's just going to be 1. And let's just assign that the number of wins. Now, I think the points we can calculate at the end. So effectively we just want to copy this really. And then we're just going to go draws. Right, let's go input draws, and this time this should be 2, and this should be draws. And let's just go losses. Right, losses, and this will be this will be column 3, and losses like that. Right, is that all we need to do? So we've inputted this. Of course, then we need to validate at the end. And calculate the points. Right, okay, so what we can do, and this is actually the same problem I had with the cricket one, right, paper 21. Like, we could directly calculate the points in here, but that's actually a little bit pointless, because let's say if the number of wins, drawn and losses, wins, draws and losses doesn't equal the expected number of matches, or this played variable, then effectively we're just creating points for like an invalid number of matches, which is kind of pointless. Right, so what we can do, I mean, maybe let's create another variable like total matches, or total games maybe. And this total games, well, this is just going to be the wins plus losses plus draws. So basically the number of games they played. And I think it does say they do want kind of like relevant error messages. So let's say if the total games is not equal to played, this is of course how many they expect to play. Then what we can do, let's say, I'm trying to think of a good error message. I know, let's say expected. So we want to say like expected 18 games to be entered, but only but 16 games were entered instead, or something. Right, so expected played. This would be games to be entered, or maybe results to be entered. Let's say but, and then we go total games. Results were entered instead. Right, I think that's fine, and then let's just go end if. And here, on this until, we also want the same condition. Well, I mean, kind of the opposite, right? So until total games equals played. And then that should be fine. And then once we've done that here, like now, because we know this is a valid number of games, well, here's where we can calculate the points. And I think the points, I mean, we could assign it to this points variable, or we can actually just directly assign it here to results. So this again is going to be the team num, right? The points is going to be in the 4th column. And remember what it says, well, wins is going to be times 3, right? Then of course we just want to go, well, plus draws. And I guess, I mean, we don't need to do multiplied by 1, because obviously that's redundant. Obviously the losses we also don't need, because, well, that's 0 points for a loss. Right, so here, we validated the games played, we've calculated the number of points, and then, right, okay, so now we just want to sort this. And I mean, this one's going to be a bit tricky, because we need to sort both arrays, and of course we've got multiple columns. Right, so into descending order of number of points. Okay. Yeah, and also let's make sure just to end this for loop. So that's just going to be, okay, hang on, here we go. Right, that's going to be what, next team num. Yeah, maybe let me zoom out just so I can see a little bit more. Okay, right, then what we want to do, so, well, then we just want bubble sort. And bubble sort, let's remember, well, we want to have it declare like did swap. Right, that's going to be a boolean. And I guess we also want, yeah, the ending position. Right, this is if we want to make it optimized. So, yeah, let's say maybe, I don't know, yeah, end position or end index. Right, that's going to be an integer. And first we'll just set the did swap. Let's just assign this. Okay, right, let's assign this true, because what we'll do is, well, we'll loop while did swap is true. And then the end index, what we want to do, we want to assign this, I mean, in the real, yeah, let's say in the real exam, of course, you can just assign this 9. Because what you're doing is, well, you're comparing, you know, up to element 9 with the next element. So effectively, you know, team 9 with team 10. Right, if you set this to 10, well, then it would try to compare team 10 with team 11. And of course, yeah, there's no team 11, so that'll be invalid. So yeah, of course, again, right, in the exam, just hard code this as 9. But since I'm using this number of teams constant, I'm just going to go number of teams minus 1. And what we'll do, let's go while. So right, while did swap equals true. And then inside here, let's just go did swap equals false. Now, I've actually got many videos on bubble sort. I mean, obviously, yeah, like many questions about bubble sort, but I think even 2 videos. Yeah, one is IG, one is A level, right? I mean, both of them talk about bubble sort in detail. So you can watch those if you've kind of forgotten how this works. And yeah, hopefully I can do it without making a mistake. Right, so then what we want to do, well, we just want to loop for each of the, I guess, yeah, for each of the pairs. So let's just go maybe n, or yeah, like index. Right, let's go index. This will start at 1. And then we'll just go 2, and this will be the end index. And what we want to check, what if the current position, yeah, I'm trying to think if it's going to be greater than or less than. I guess it's going to be what, less than. So if the current position is less than the next element, right, then that means we want to swap them. So here, this is going to be results. Right, this is going to be index, and the points is in column 4. Right, so if this is less than results, then this will be what, index plus 1. Right, also column 4. Right, well, here is where we want to swap them. So let's just go declare, and we'll need some temporary variables. Now, yeah, I mean the difficult thing with this is because, well, we're swapping the whole array. And again, of course, right, in the exam you wouldn't need to actually declare this. But let's go temp array, and this is going to be an array of, well, 1 to 4 integers. Right, and then we also want to swap the team name, so let's go temp name. Right, and then that's going to be string. So what we can do in order to swap this results, effectively we want to assign the current results. I mean, well, let's just try and draw this quickly. I mean, the way I think of it is, let's say here we have, this is kind of like, well, let's say the index. Right, let's just go I. Right, the next one is going to be, well, the index plus 1. Right, then we're also going to have a temporary. So, for example, we can assign this index into the temporary variable. Right, then we assign the index plus 1, you know, into here. And yeah, then we assign this temporary, right, to the index plus 1. You know, that can be how we swap it. So yeah, let's try and do that. Right, so what we want to do, let's go temp array, and that's going to be results. And then yeah, here we want the entire kind of like, you know, let's say first dimension of the array. So that's just going to be index. Okay, you know, we don't have the second, we don't have the column, because I mean here, basically we want the entire row. Okay, not just one cell. Right, then what we want to do, we want to go results, and what this will be, this will be index, and then we'll assign that, results, and then, the index plus 1. Right, I mean, hopefully that's not made a mistake. Right, and then what we want to do, we then want to get results, this will be index plus 1, and then let's just assign that the temp array. Okay, and then basically we just want to do the same thing but for the name. So this one, let's just go temp name. And this one will be, team names? Okay, no, teams. Right, and this will again be the index. Then we just want to go teams. This will be index, and we want to assign our teams index plus 1. So basically, the same pattern again. Right, then we just want to go teams. This will be index plus 1, and we just assign it the temp name. Right, hopefully that's okay, and we also need to remember, let's set this did swap to be true. And the reason we set this did swap to be true is because, well, this is saying the array is not sorted. Therefore, we're going to loop again. Right, and of course, well, if we never go inside this if statement, or inside this if condition, well, then it means that, of course, this did swap will stay as false, on this current iteration. And that's when it will then exit this loop, kind of exit the bubble sort. Right, let's go end if, let's go next index, and let's just go end while. And let's also make sure we need to decrement this index. So that's going to be outside of the for loop, once we've looped through the entire row. Then we just want to go end index, and we'll assign that end index minus 1, okay, just decrement. And the reason we do that is because, well, after the first iteration, the rightmost element will be sorted. After the second iteration, the 2 rightmost elements will be sorted, and obviously so on. Again, though, if you're confused about bubble sort, just go on my channel, just type in bubble sort, and you can find videos specifically about that. I think the one, the IG's, I think it's called IG entire syllabus, right? You can watch that, go to the timestamps, they have bubble sort, linear search, right? All these other things. Right, okay, so that, hopefully that's correct, although, maybe there's an error. Right, then we want to determine how many teams have the highest number of points. Okay, and we want to output the name of the winning teams. Okay, so let's think how we can obviously get the how we can get the number of teams that have the the highest number of points. Well, what we can think is obviously element 1 in the results array, right? That's going to be the sort of winning team, and then we just want to keep looping while the current team has the same number of points as them. I mean, so here we could do it just in one loop, because we can actually do both of these final 2 things in one loop. Although, do they want us to do that? I mean, I think I'm probably just going to use 2 loops for this. Right, so the first one, let's just declare again, and this will be, I don't know, maybe winning points. Right, this is going to be integer, and we'll just assign this winning points. This will be results. Right, then we're going to want row 1, because, this is the top team. And then the points here is going to be 4. Right, let's also assign an index. Because what we're going to do is, well, we're just going to keep looping through the array. So let's go while, and we want to check, and let's just start this at 2. So we'll go right index, that'll be 2. Because of course, well, we know that this first team, they've already got the highest points. Then we're checking, does the second team have the same number of points? So let's go right while results, and now this will be index. Again, also column 4, right, while this is equal to the winning points. And we also want to check that we don't exceed the bounds of the array. So let's go and, this will be index. Let's go what less than or equal to, and this will be what the number of teams. And of course, again, in the real exam, just use 10, right? But here, I'm using this constant. Right, let's go end while, And what we want to say then, I guess we also need a counter. Maybe count winning teams. And obviously, well, by default, count winning teams is just going to be 1. Right, but then here, let's go count winning teams. We're just going to increment this. Because, yeah, this means like 2 teams have the same result, 3 teams have the same result. And then we also just want to increment the index as well. Just so it'll go to the next team. Yeah, hopefully that will work. And then what we can do, well, we can just have a for loop. And we can actually use this count winning teams. So let's go team num. And let's start this at 1. And then we'll just go, okay, hang on, 2. Right, so this is the count of the winning teams. And we then, and I mean, I guess we can just, yeah, maybe here, let's just go output. And we'll say, like 1 winner or 2 winners. Yeah, I know, like number of winners maybe. Right, and then that's just going to be what the count of the winning teams. And then right here, what do we want to output? Probably just the team name and points. Yeah, okay. Right, so here then, let's just go output, and this will be teams. This will be the team number. And let's just go maybe scored, or yeah, maybe achieved. Right, and then we just want the results. So remember to get the points, that's going to be team num. Right, it's going to be column 4, and yeah, let's just go points. Right, then let's go next team num, and yeah, let's see if this works. Honestly, I'm pretty sure it's not going to work, not the first time, but let's try. Okay, so I realise this is a bit of a stupid mistake. What this is saying then is because, well, we've declared these, wins, draws, losses, points, right, we've declared that inside the repeat loop, which means that, the scope is only inside here. So, of course, well, there we can't use it on this until statement. We also couldn't use these wins and draws outside here as well. So let's just go ahead and just put this, put these declarations, outside of the loop. Then that should work. And I also realized that I accidentally declared these results as string, because I think honestly I just copied this array twice. But yeah, now that that's integer, and I think now it should hopefully be working. Right, so we can enter the number of games played. I mean, let's just say 5. Let's say team 1, that could be Man United. Let's say Man United had 4 wins, they had 1 draw. And I mean, let's try 1 loss. So this should actually ask us to enter again. Yeah, so expected 5 results to be entered, but 6 results were entered instead. Right, so now we've got to enter again. Let's say 4, let's go 1, and let's go 0. Right, team 2, I mean, let's go Man City. Let's say Man City had 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. And let's say Chelsea. I'm trying to think, can I make... Right, so Man United, they had 4, right, they got 13 points. Yeah, I think there's no way I can make 13 points right other than using the same. So let's go 4 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. And yeah, now we can see it says number of winners is 2, Man United 13, and Chelsea 13. Finally, let's just go and comment this code. So the first one, I think we could just say input games played. Let's say and validate it's less than 18, or yeah, less than or equal to 18. Maybe it doesn't exceed 18. Right, then we can just say, so this is going to be where we're looping through, getting the team name and points. So, right, loop through, let's say input, right, and then this is going to be what, team name. It's going to be the wins, right, draws, losses, right, and also calculate points. Yeah, I think that's everything we do. Yeah, okay, and I guess you'd also say, well, we're let's say validating number of matches played for each team. Right, so validate, yeah, I mean, let's say validate, right, validate number of matches played for each team. Yeah, equals the played. Right, and I mean, I guess if we just do these quickly, so let's say, yeah, input team name. I mean, this declare variables, again, you don't need to do in the exam, so I won't comment this. Right, this repeat loop, well, here then we're just going to be inputting the wins, draws, losses. Yeah, and I guess again we're just going to be yeah, and validate what the number of games played is correct. Right, okay, then I guess this last one, this is just going to be calculating the points. Yeah, let's say for current team. Right, so here let's just say, yeah, I know, like initialize bubble sort variables. This we can say, well, keep looping while not sorted. Right, here we can say, let's say compare each pair of elements. Right, this is going to be, yeah, let's say if, I don't know, maybe, yeah, if not sorted or if incorrect order. Right, let's say then swap elements. And I mean, yeah, obviously here, this is just going to be swapping. Now, I guess we can also say that here as well. Yeah, I think, I mean, I don't know, like, probably we don't need to comment this. Yeah, I think, I mean, let's not comment that. Hopefully it's quite obvious. Right, then this one. Okay, what we can say. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, do we need to comment this, maybe? Yeah, I know, let's go initialize variables. That should be fine. So here what we're doing is we're well, looping while the current team is, you know, has the same number of points as the winning team. Right, loop while current team has same points as winning team. Or yeah, I guess we can say, well, as first team. Because of course, yeah, that's and I mean, maybe here we can just say yeah, I don't know, get points of winning team. And then I guess finally we'll just say, yeah, output, I don't know, output leaderboard. Or yeah, I don't know, like output winning teams. Right, so guys, I mean, one thing I did just check the mark scheme actually. And, you know, whereas here we've done this array 1 to 4 of integer and we've actually assigned the entire array, you know, to this temp array in one go. I mean, it does say we can do that, you know, in the syllabus. However, what they did in the mark scheme, and, you know, this is going to be super slow. Because you think, well, we've got like 4, yeah, we've got, you know, 4 columns. So what they've done is they've actually swapped each column individually. So for example, rather than going, yeah, I guess rather than going temp array, what they would do is they would go, you know, temp 1, temp 2, temp 3, yeah, temp 4. Of course, then they would go, for example, temp 1 like this. That's going to be, well, results column 1. Right, of course, you know, then they would then, hang on. Yeah, of course, they would then just copy that, and of course they would make this, you know, temp 2, temp 3, temp 4. Of course, this would be, well, column 2, column 3, column 4. And, you know, then they would basically do the same thing here, where they would make this results, right? This would then be index 1. Right, yeah, this would also be column 1. Of course, they would then copy this like 3 more times. And of course, yeah, they would make this 2, right? This would also be column 2. And then they would do a similar thing here where, for example, they would go column 1, and then here this would then just be temp 1. And of course they would do it for, you know, obviously, yeah, 2, 3, 4 as well. I mean, yeah, obviously that is a valid way of doing it. However, you know, for the 15 marker, it's not like you have hours to do this in the exam. You know, you're probably quite tight for time. So yeah, I would recommend, I mean, obviously, yeah, this is one way of doing it, but you can just directly assign the array. Because, well, in the syllabus, right, it is stated that you can do that. Anyway, hopefully this video is useful, and as always, any questions, just ask in the comments, ask on Discord, and yeah, if it was useful, then see you again in the next video.